What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we finally got a look at that Luffy promo. This one I've been waiting for, and I know I'm not the only one. Intently, I know a bunch of people have been waiting for this Luffy promo. You see, in last month's issue of Saikyo Jump magazine, as they do in every magazine in Japan and outside, we saw this image, and this is basically saying, hey, this is what's coming next month. Now, I buy Saikyo Jump when there are, promos that I feel are important. And this was the third in a row that I actually bought. Well, I've ordered this Luffy one as well. So that's 4 in a row now. Apparently, I just buy this every month. And essentially what we see are, some interesting things. Now, there's going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh card next month, which is honestly fairly standard. They kind of do a Yu-Gi-Oh one every month, which is fine. There is going to be a Dragon Ball Heroes promo, which again, I know Dragon Ball Heroes isn't a thing over here, but that thing is, game is very big over in Japan. So it makes sense that we would, you see promos for that popping up here, there, and everywhere, but certainly Saikyo Jump has its share. And then we've got this Luffy, and it shows you what type of Luffy it is, so to speak. But we didn't actually know anything about it. Well, it's gone and been officially revealed, and just in time, because that magazine is actually out. Now, this should be going up on Friday the 27th of January, which means this magazine is exactly 1 week away from being released. It's a week away. Now, I got my pre-order in. I did what I often do for these Japanese magazines, what I've taken to doing nowadays, where they've got One Piece promos, I will, when I see a link to buy them from Amazon Japan, which is by far the easiest place to order them from, I do tweet that link out. So if you're not following me on Twitter at the Wassy, maybe I suggest you do so. But yeah, I did my best. Unfortunately, it's it seems to be more awkward nowadays. Here is what the card looks like, I should say, and I love this card. It is a lovely looking card. This is one of those, there are a couple kinds of promos. So, for instance, the Sanji that just came out in this month's issue of V-Jump magazine. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But the Sanji, it's a cool promo, but it is what I think of as kind of a fairly standard promo. That's not a bad thing. It's a nice promo. I pre-ordered the magazine. I've got this in my binder. I'm keeping a collection of Japanese numbered promos. Not all the alternate arts. I'm not rich, but I am keeping a pretty good collection of all the numbered Japanese promos. So obviously I need things like the Sanji promo. And it's a lovely looking promo. It's not on the level of this Luffy. Like, the last Luffy promo we saw was the Shonen Jump promo. And that was just next level. Just ridiculously awesome. And I think we're kind of there with this as well. And I absolutely love it, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. It is a very cool looking card. Now, in terms of how you actually go about getting this, it's getting a bit awkward. Like I say, the pre-order was up over on Amazon Japan. The pre-order is no longer up on Amazon Japan, unfortunately. It's not there anymore. Well, it's there, but it's out of stock. And the weird thing is, like, last month's issue of Saikyo Jump had 2 Digimon promos in. And I ordered that when it went up. You could have casually ordered that right up until release. One of the things I've noticed, and I've told you this before, one of the things I've noticed about magazines with One Piece promos in Japan, they sell out much, much quicker. I haven't seen Saikyo Jump sell out this fast since, honestly, the last time they had a One Piece promo, because this is kind of the way things go. So what does the card actually do? Well, I am delighted to say I did translate this myself, though I checked with Orange Samurai, who checked with Helio on the Discord, and what we've got is a free cost 4,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and when attacking, you may add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand, and either this character or one of your leaders gains 1,000 power for the turn. I really don't like this. Like, some cards I don't like. I really, really don't like this, like, at all. No, ladies and gentlemen. No. Like, we've seen plenty of yellow cards that whittle down your life. I mean, if we go to Starter Deck 7, which is now out in Japan at the moment, you know, that's one of the things. You know, yellow's basic thing right now is kind of taking their own life, adding to their life, having skills that activate with a certain amount of life, etc. But, you know, we see things like the Charlotte Linlin Leader that lets you add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and if your life is 2 or less, you can place a card from your hand to the top of your life. So it's a good skill, you know, just for getting you card advantage and whittling down your life, but then you get to replace one later on, which seems kind of fair to me. And, you know, we've got stuff like Charlotte Katakuri that lets you look it up to 1 life on the top of yours or your opponent's life area and put it back at the top or bottom. And then if you've got fewer life cards than your opponent, you gain rush. It's kind of where we're going with this kind of thing. And then we've got stuff like Charlotte Daifuku. When attacking, you can add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, place up to 1 card from the top of your deck at the top of your life area. So you're basically cycling through the deck. Well, life deck, if you want to call it that. But the point is, you're not really whittling down too much. Charlotte Montdour. Activate main, you can rest this character and take the card at the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 3 or less. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at here. Also got a trigger that lets you trash a card from your hand and play this card. And what I find is, this is the same cost and power as Charlotte Montdour, but you don't have the trigger. And, I mean, an extra 1,000 power can be good, but it's extra 1,000 power or KO one of your opponent's characters. Now, to be fair, Charlotte Montdour, you have to rest. Luffy, you don't have to rest, and that is very important. And I don't know, maybe the answer here very simply is it's fine. Maybe I was too harsh on it a minute ago, because, I mean, you compare it to Charlotte Montdour, and it's not as good, but you do get to attack. And it's a free cost that's kind of getting me here. As a 1 or 2 cost, I quite like the idea of being able to take your life nice and early. Because remember, as I've shown you, some of these yellow cards do want you to whittle down your own life. And similarly, when you're taking a life to your hand, you are gaining a card advantage. You have 1 more card in your hand now than you did have a moment ago. So there are definitely advantages to taking your life into your hand. There are absolutely reasons why you would want to do so. I suppose I just find this really underwhelming, because you become 5,000 and you know the general rule, right? Attacker has the tiebreaker, and leaders generally have 5,000 power with 1 exception. So generally speaking, this puts your opponent in a situation where they have to block or counter the attack. Fine. But you're picking up a life. And I know that there are going to be times, in yellow where you want to pick up a life, where you got the same number of life as your opponent, so you pick up a life so that you can get Charlotte Katakuri to have rush. I know that that happens. But it's a vanilla free 4 if you don't take a life. And to be honest with you, you know, free 5 is what we would expect from a vanilla character. I mean, if we go and look at the starter deck, the vanilla free 5 would be Peckmons. There we go. That's your vanilla free 5 in yellow. So I suppose what I'm saying is, there is one reason why you would want to use this card. This is a card to take your own life. That's what you're using it for. Because as an attacker, etc., we can just do better. And my thing here is, I have seen other yellow cards I would rather play if I'm going to whittle down my own life, and I think we're going to see even more in future. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe it's not out and out terrible. I think I was a bit mean to it earlier in the video, for which I apologise. But I think what I'm trying to say here is there's nothing about this card that excites me. It's a decent enough attacker if you take one of your own life cards, but then on those turns where you don't want to take your life, it's a bad attacker, and the artwork is absolutely stunning. This is one of the best looking cards I think we've seen, and I'm not exaggerating. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And it's not out and out terrible, unplayable garbage, alright? There are reasons to play this card, but I don't think there are enough of them for me. But I have had a few questions from people lately, so just as a little bit of a roundup. Recently, the most recent promo we've actually seen is the V-Jump that just came out with the Sanji promo. Now, it's this cover you want. You can see Sanji just sitting there on the cover. This is the one you're looking for. We also very recently had the Shonen Jump with the Luffy promo. This is, you can see on the screen, the cover of the one you're actually looking for. A little while ago now, we had the Smoker V-Jump promo, which, again, you can see the correct cover on the screen here, so you know which magazine you want to be picking up for this particular promo. And then we did have the Saikyo Jump, which came with the Frankie promo. There were a couple earlier ones, but we're not going to worry about them today. In terms of magazine promos, those are the last few. Those are the ones you should be looking out for. What I will say is, if you're looking to get magazines from Japan, by far the best time and the best way to do it is when you are... You know, when you see them first listed on Amazon Japan, when they're actually being shipped from Amazon Japan, because they're pretty cheap in terms of shipping, and because you don't have to worry about anything else. It's nice and straightforward. The problem is, with the One Piece promos, they do tend to sell out quickly, and after that, it does get a bit more awkward. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to show you that Luffy. I have shown you that Luffy, and now it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about it, both in terms of playability, have I been too harsh, and in terms of art, have I been too generous? So let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.